Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your lovely, disgusting, awful video game ideas and turn them into the next AAA titles. I am your beautiful, wonderful, awake as hell, not addicted to coffee host, Blake Rhea.
And I am your other, not concussed host, AJ Hart. There have been some rumors in my personal life that I may have gotten a concussion after I took a bad spill while doing a night drinking at a Christmas party.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to leave
fine.
that. I thought you were going to leave that part out. I thought you were just going to like play it as in like, yeah, I took a tumble while totally sober. Just like
no, because I don't want people to think that I'm clumsy naturally. I want people to only think that it's possible for me to have fallen because I was inebriated and already weakened. I'm too powerful to go down under normal means. The only way you can get the jump on me is if I am dispositioned to an ouchie.
So, speaking of bad health habits, you told me to stop what I was talking about because you wanted me to mention on the podcast.
Really quick,
go ahead, ask me your question.
To bring audience up to speed, here's what was going on. Blake and I were talking about vitamins because we were like, man, I remember when I was a little kid, I ate vitamins all the damn time. And then we found out that vitamins are apparently garbage. But every
most
article
vitamins
that we saw that talked
a
about
scam.
vitamins being garbage also had the caveat of, well, yeah, but if you eat a good diet, then you don't need vitamins. To which I was like, hey, Blake, I know two things about you and me. And that is that I recently, for dinner, just had 3 fucking spinach buns. And you told me that you apparently, for a meal sometimes, eat, and I quote,
a Macho Man
Randy Savage
with Slim Jim.
Slim Jims. Now, I'm familiar with a normal Slim Jim. What is a Macho Man Randy Savage Slim Jim?
Okay, so
do they still make those? He's been dead for a grip.
That's what I thought too. I thought Macho Man was not tied to the Slim Jim property since like 1987. But
he passed away in 91, so at least that far back. He should have, he would have been cut off before we were born.
So, okay. So, you know, like how there are like regular Slim Jims, they're that little, for those that I don't know if Slim Jim is an international brand.
I'm sorry, he passed away in 2011.
It.
He just stopped wrestling in 91.
Holy shit.
I'm sorry.
He only died 10 years ago? I thought Macho Man Randy Savage was like gone from like everything. I thought he died like 30 years ago. You're telling me I was alive when Macho Man Randy Savage was alive? Fuck. Okay. I am the cream. That guy's awesome. So, okay, we're getting distracted. So, for those that don't know, Slim Jim is a beef jerky stick that is full of chemicals, really fucking bad for you. It literally takes a year off of your life every time you eat it. I have that once every 2 weeks or so. Needless to say, I might not make it to episode 200 of this podcast.
So do you need vitamins? That's my question. And I'm sure that there's all sorts of pseudoscience stuff out there.
I don't know. Maybe I might not need vitamins because here's the thing about the Macho Man Randy Savage Slim Jim. So there's regular size Slim Jim. There is what I thought was the biggest of Monster Slim Jim, which is like 3 Slim Jims in one. It's just a thicker tube of meat. And then I was proved wrong. I walk into 7-Eleven, mouth agape. I see in bold, flamboyant colors literally the length of my forearm, fucking size Slim Jim that just has Macho Man Randy Savage's face on it. And it's like $10. So
Blake, I love you so much. I'm so sorry that I have to do this. I'm about to wreck your fucking world. You need to come up to Oregon with me and go camping because in the areas up where I go camping, up in the Tillamook, Oregon range, there is a large billboard that constantly is marketing 4-foot-long jerky sticks.
Oh, but is that Macho Man? Is that Macho Man Randy Savage
probably
branded?
Not branded with.
Then it's not
Macho
as
Man
good.
Randy Savage.
It doesn't. I know nothing about Macho Man Randy Savage outside of his fun voice and the "I am the cream" bit, but it doesn't have that sweet. What do you think like Macho Man's like wrestling move is? Because I'm trying to use like an adjective here.
I don't know that he had a signature move. He was during
the swirl and twirl. Does it have the swirl and twirl flavor additive? I don't think so, AJ. But actually, I would like to try that. There's this. You know what's so weird living on the West Coast?
I'm sorry, the swirl and twirl? That's what you think Macho Man Randy Savage's signature move is, huh?
Bro, everybody was dressed in like neon fucking jumpsuits. I am imagining all of the wrestling moves of the 1980s were flashy as shit. None of this like grimdark shit that they have now of like, yeah, we're gonna put him into an armbar or a leg lock. No, this is the swirl and twirl era. This is like the dragon spits fire era. This is all about the showmanship. So I know nothing about wrestling.
Apparently he was just really popular for doing a flying elbow drop.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Flying elbow. That's not the coolest name, but it does have like a little bit of like Karate Kid vibes.
It was off the top rope, which is exciting.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. They've been doing off the top rope since like the early days of wrestling. That doesn't excite me anymore.
Yeah, that's him, dog. He was one of the early days of wrestling.
So yeah, I have the Macho Man Randy Savage Slim Jim, and I have all the nutrients I need. You know, like I was drinking Huel for a little while, still do.
What is Huel?
It's like it's this liquid food thing that just has all of the nutrients and vitamins that you could need in a meal.
Oh, like
and it's
Soylent.
Like, yeah, it's exactly. It's like Soylent, but like tastes way better, and it's way more fun to drink. I don't need that anymore. I just take a nice.
You just eat a Macho Man Randy Savage beef steak.
I have nothing but protein and all of the harmful toxic chemicals that I could ask for.
I mean, if those things don't kill you, I don't think anything can. You're kind of like building up a resistance.
You know,
against the world.
Can I go on like a little jerky tangent for like?
Yeah, it's your podcast, bud. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah. So, not many people. I don't know how many people know this, but jerky is like really, really big here on the West Coast because it's just like it's very cowboy energy.
Is it not big on the East Coast?
I don't think so. That's the thing I keep seeing. Like, I think as you go more East Coast, there's more like wild game sort of things like deer, venison.
You're proposing to me that in New York nobody eats jerky.
I no, it's not that nobody eats jerky. Is that I think it's just more common out here. It's a more common. Well, think of it this way: like we on the West Coast carry a lot of things that happened during the frontier, and one of the big things during the frontier was that a lot of those journeys they would carry salted meats because they would need it to last like the 7 years it took them to get to the West Coast. Didn't take them 7 years, but it had to last them a long time. So it's like a lot of our foods have like preservatives in them. That's why jarring is like a big thing out here. Or like doing sort of that's why vinegar food is like really big out here too. Or fermented food, not fermented, pickled food. My bad. Like I think I don't know if pickled eggs were like a West Coast thing. I might be wrong on that
I'm
one.
I'm not going to bother fact checking you on this. It sounds so wild.
But just to go back to the thing, once you drive, not necessarily in Los Angeles, but once you start going out to the desert area, you get really weird shops that are all jerky themed. Like one of my, like I shit you not, you walk in and everything they sell has to do with something with jerky. And these are giant complexes. My favorite one, it's called Alien Jerky. If you're ever in the Nevada area, go check it out. It's just, you are driving on a highway and then you just come into this little town and then you just see a giant like UFO base just chilling on the side of the road, and it has like aliens and like a bunch of
the Area 51 jerky stand. Yeah, I know the one. I drive past it all the time.
Yes. And I don't know if you've ever gone in there, but it's a wild place. You just walk in. They have like 1950s sci-fi music playing, like the big theremin sounds. Really cool energy. And then it's just a wall of golden bags of jerky that all just have the weirdest fucking names. Like one is abducted cow. Another one is what's it? Roadkill. And then you have another one where it's like it's just like it's a code name, like it's some fucking just Agent Orange style like secret experiment. It's wild, but it's super cool because it's just like I can't think of anywhere else in the world where something like that exists. It's like this is so of its
It would probably
area.
not be branded with alien stuff if it's not near Area 51.
I mean, it's in Nevada. I mean, is Area 51 in Nevada or is it in New Mexico?
I don't know, but I know the Alien Fresh Jerky place. I thought it was an Area 51 joke.
Well, I mean, there's I mean, it's based off of Aliens, but it's not like Area. I think it's literally just called Alien Jerky.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, but where is Area 51? Is Area 51? Area 51 it's showing. Okay, so I type in where is Area 51, and you know like how it gives you Google Maps anytime you search something? Yeah. It's just Google Maps is just showing me blank desert. And I think that's just so funny. Doesn't give me any outline of anything.
It's right here, idiot, in the middle of the desert.
It's right here, but we've like deleted
It's
everything
in Nevada.
identifiable.
Area 51 is in Nevada. That's why you and I were thinking about going to the Area 51 music concert that popped up 2 years ago.
Oh, you mean where everybody was going to storm Area 51?
Yeah, I wasn't into the storming Area 51 part, but a bunch of musicians said that they were going to be there, so I wanted to go for the impromptu music concert.
Was this like the Fortnite of real life, where it's just like a bunch of obscure artists were like, "Hey, we're going to just do a pop-up concert here. Show up if you." What the fuck
do you mean Fortnite of real world with obscure artists? Ariana Grande's been in Fortnite. What the fuck are you talking about? Put some respect on Fortnite's name.
Hold on. Fortnite. Let's distill it down to its basic elements. It's a bunch of people congregating in one area, dressed up as funny characters, and occasionally music concerts of real artists play. I don't know if you saw the images of Area 51, like music festival. Everybody was dressed up as weird shit, and there was music playing, and a bunch of people congregating in one area, and there were guns there too. There were armed guards there, so that's another similarity to Fortnite.
Yeah, no, hey, the similarities are there. I just don't want to hear you being like with obscure artists like Ariana Grande and Travis Scott. Like, come on. You and I both know that's not obscure.
Ariana Grande? I don't know if many people know about Ariana Grande.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Also, Marshmallow. I don't think many people know about Marshmallow. I will say he is an obscure digital art. He's not as big as Deadmau5. Like, Deadmau5 is more identifiable as a masked DJ than Marshmallow.
You are a relic of a bygone age, my friend.
Also, Travis Scott. I don't think anybody knows about him.
Well, not before Fortnite, but Fortnite did great things for him. And then he got the McDonald's deal.
Dude, do you think anybody like recorded their performance at Area 51 and turned it into a live album? Like, that's, you know, like how some bands
we can only hope, dude.
Like, God, that would be so fucking cool. And you just hear like in the background the security guards working the fence with their megaphones, like, please leave the area. Just get out. Oh, God, that would be so fucking cool.
The Gathering Grounds was pretty far away from Area 51 itself, if I recall correctly.
Really? I thought it was like right on the fence. I thought that's why it was such a big deal. It was like right out, like right next to the fence. That's why there were guards posted there.
No, because they went ahead and made it like an official music festival, and they needed to have it like a certain distance away from the Area 51 grounds so that they could have like porta potties and shit like that.
Okay, so, well, speaking of regulations, you and I should, like, I don't know, make a podcast. We should do what we were, like, born here to do. And that's make bad video games. We could make bad video games in the vein of Slim Jims and Area 51. I'm down for that. But we got to make something.
Yeah, let's see if we can't do that. Do you have a video game submission for me?
I do have a video game submission for you. This one, okay. I'm going to try my best to not go on a tangent here, but give me 30 seconds. Holy fuck, holy shit, holy crap, holy fuck, Alan Wake 2 was announced. Oh my
yeah, the Video Game Awards happened. We could talk about that a little bit, huh?
No, we have no fucking time. We have no time, dude. We have no time. But I just, the one thing I want to mention, because it does relate to this game submission, Alan Wake is my favorite video game of all time, and the fact that they finally launched Alan Wake 2, or they did the trailer for it.
The Journey Home.
Fucking good. It looks so fucking good, dude. And it's going to be a survival horror. I think it's going to be like The Evil Within kind of vibes. I'm so fucking excited. So this
big ups to them. Big ups to the Alan Wake creators for having the self-control to not call it Alan Wake Chapter 2. Because like he's an author, it feels like it would have been just like right there. So big ups to them for
that's the
fighting off that
beauty.
urge.
That's the beauty of Alan Wake, though, because it is cheesy in that regard.
It
because
is about
like,
fantasy Stephen King.
It's about like a guy writing a book that comes to life. How many fucking stupid stories have we seen like that? Because it's such
None.
a
The only thing that I can think of that's like that is Neverending Story and the Goosebumps movie, both of which are masterpieces.
The Goosebumps movie's fucking terrible. I don't know what you're talking about. That movie
It's got
sucks.
Jack Black in it, and I've never seen it, and children like
who
it,
gives
so I
a
have
shit?
to assume
Like,
it's a masterpiece.
Oh god, you can't just say things like that. You can't just do that.
I can.
Okay.
It's actually a lot funnier to say the Goosebumps is a masterpiece instead of saying that it's bad. It has a sequel. There's a second Goosebumps movie.
And so who gives a fuck? So does Ghostbusters, but the first Ghostbusters sucks. Like it doesn't, just because something has a sequel doesn't make it great.
You say some bold things here. You're right on that one, but it's bold. It's bold.
It opens
to say
up with him. It opens up with him manipulating a woman, like doing the flashcard thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to like this character.
And
He's
we
supposed
love
to be
that about
charming.
him. We love that he wants to fuck all of his students.
Yeah,
It's
like,
just-
oh yeah, that's not
it's a
fucking
great
problematic.
Character trait.
Yeah, like the best part of that movie is fucking Sigourney Weaver being a badass. Actually, that might be Ghostbusters too. I don't know. But her and her fucking Gorgon, like, dogs. Like, that's the best part of that movie. Everything else is like, oh, I guess this is of its time. I don't know. It's like people who say Goonies is also a good movie. There's a lot of 80s movies that people say
Now,
are
hold on.
classic.
As an Oregonian, I do have to come in to fight for Goonies. We love Goonies.
You know what? I think you have the rose tinted glasses. Like Halloween Town. Awesome
here's
concept.
the thing. I don't remember
but it's like,
Goonies. Here's what I do know about Goonies. It was filmed in Oregon, so I have to defend it. I also have to do the same thing with Supernatural and Grimm. Like, these things were in Oregon. Sorry.
Okay. We're just like, is
The
this gonna
rainy
be one of
state
those?
represents.
Is this gonna be just one of those distracted episodes where we literally do jack shit and just shoot
Yeah,
the shit?
yeah, probably. Anyway, give me the game submission.
This one comes to us from Caleb Personal Pan Martin at Is This a Theus? Alan Wake and Bake. So I
Blake,
misread
neither
this.
one of us smoke weed.
No. Stick with me here.
Okay. I'm following.
I know it was supposed to be a weed reference, but for some reason my brain immediately went to two things. One, as a kid, my mom would make shake and bake pork chops all the time. So it's like easy cooking, which led me to my next thought, easy bake ovens. Can we do an Alan Wake supernatural themed cooking game that is all like easy bake? So it can't be like complex recipes. It needs to be some sort of like, okay, I need you to, it's like a really simple cooking game. So
I got the story for you right here. Here's what it is.
Okay,
so Alan
go
Wake
ahead.
Chapter 2. Here it comes. Alan Wake's like, oh no. Everything that I write comes to life. I know what I'm going to do. And this motherfucker sits down and he studies everything he can about the hit Kids WB or 4Kids TV show Fighting Foodons, the kind of racist food fighting one.
Wait, the kind of racist? What?
Yeah, every food was like a little racist caricature of it, of
Well, why
food
bring
dish.
that up then? Why?
Because I'm going to celebrate Fighting Foodons, and so I have to bring up its caveats. If you want to hear more about Fighting Foodons, check out friend of the show, Deck of Friendship, because they have a whole season on Fighting Foodons and how it's kind of wicked problematic.
Okay, so
Anyway, so Alan Wake
how does
says,
this
I
work?
know what I have to do. And so he starts making a cookbook, and everything that he adds to the cookbook comes to life as a little sentient food guardian to protect him.
Yes. Okay. Can I give you? I want to add on to this idea that you're talking about here. So
Okay.
just out of narrative. So one thing I noticed that writers have to do sometimes, they just have to write shit to pay the bills. One of my favorite examples was, actually, he might have wrote this because he was passionate about it, but Stephen King. Author of It, author of Misery, author of The Stand, like some of the biggest fucking books in history. Did you know he wrote a book about the Boston Sox? That was just kind of this historical book and talking about like their stats and shit. It's so weird to go on Goodreads and I just see like horror novel, thriller novel, fucking supernatural thing. This guy wrote something for the Red Sox? What the fuck? So Alan Wake is kind of taking a dip in his career. He hasn't come up with a thriller book in a while. Needs to pay the bills. Guess what? He's going to help write this cookbook. But as he writes it, a lot of the recipes start coming to life and fucking with things in a realistic way or in a fucked up way. So it's like you have to do, and it has to be like simple recipes. So it's like maybe you have this chef friend or something like that says, hey, I need a cheesy dish. You got to write down the recipe or translate the recipe that like she's giving you. And then as you write that, what is the result? Are you to go back to fighting foodons? Do those things manifest
you create a little fighting guy, a little collectible monster, and you can then take this little collectible guy out into the real world and help you in the survival horror world.
Okay.
I want to do I'm trying to create the horror version of Spectrobes.
Okay.
Which is an incredibly cool game from the Wii where you had a little collectible monster that fought alongside you.
This also gives me like Zatch Bell vibes. Remember that? Speaking of WB kids.
Fuck yeah, Zatch Bell.
Oh my god, this actually works really well because
like but Zatch Bell is different because in Zatch Bell you would get your one little puppet guy, and in this one you can swap out all of your little fighting foodons like Pokemon members.
Yes, but but the way it is similar to Zatch Bell is you have to go fucking kill other people's cooking books like you do in Zatch Bell.
They're evil cookies.
They're evil.
Okay. Hold on. Alan Wake 2 Wake and Bake. Here's what has happened. A group of 8 different people have all gotten the miraculous magic ability of anything they write comes to life. Alan Wake, and maybe we do a prototype 2 situation where Alan Wake has discovered that he has this power and he's going to continue writing horror for evil. He's finally mastered his horrible powers. You play as a chef that is going to write cookbook recipes to create little guys and little monsters to help you fight. Mm-hmm. There are 6 other authors in the world where when they write things, they come true. And so you are going around and trying to hunt down the other authors and defeat them and steal their typewriters.
Holy shit. Okay, hold on. You're onto something here. I think we just need to figure out. So it's like, I think you're playing Alan Wake. And you
don't want to take the prototype route of Alan Wake as the bad guy now, and we take like Alan Wake 2. You're not playing as Alan Wake.
Okay. You're onto something there. So the way minor Alan Wake spoilers, as he starts writing things, it does affect the real world around him, and he kind of
and he masters it and uses it for evil.
And it kind of like goes into this alternate reality thing. It's still a little bit unclear, which I love about that. But
like
that gives us the space to play. So it's like, as you were saying, this power that Alan Wake has, we find out is given to a bunch of just random authors from various genres and spaces. So it's like, hey, there's a person who can manipulate the news. Like they're a news article writer. So whatever news thing that they write happens true or happens in real life or something like that. So our character, we follow like the unlikely hero. It's a person who just writes cookbooks. It just writes, fucking makes dosh off of writing cookbooks. So their writing comes to life, and then whatever recipe they write comes to life, and they have it like a la Zatch Bell. They need to then maneuver around this disrupted world that Alan Wake has created and fight all of these other authors that have their own, like, I mean, for lack of a better word, like, I guess stands in a way.
Like, they all have their own horrible abilities. I think that, like, the documentary writer is going to be able to change where the actual character is placed because he can change the news.
Wait, AJ. Can we give each of these stand characters names? And they have to shout it anytime they activate it. And the news guy is going to be... the news guy is going to be a Ben Shapiro type, and he's just going to scream fake news to summon his stand. And I just think that's the funniest fucking name for a stand with news-altering abilities, alternative facts, or some bullshit like that.
Okay, that is pretty good.
Also,
my concern is that then we've pitched our flavor into a little bit more action-y, adventure-y than horror. And I'm kind of interested in the idea of having a bunch of like collectible monster party members following you that are all fighting foodon characters, running around in a horror world.
So doing a Entourage survival horror game. So like, let's break down what a survival horror is. So as you go through the game, you get either abilities or tools that allow you to do very basic actions.
Yeah. I want you to imagine Last of Us, except instead of Ellie next to you, you have a little dude with stir fry as his brain. And then standing next to him, you have a little quadruped animal that's made of popcorn. And then standing next to them, you have it's Donald Duck, except he's been a fried turkey.
Okay,
so he's actually fried and it has no feathers, and he's just the little dead animal thing that people eat at dinner standing there.
Just to clarify, because I was under the impression that once you defeat one of these other writers, these ghost writers, that's what we'll call them. You took their ability, but it seems like what you want to do is
you only have the ability to create and write your cookbook.
Okay, but every person you defeat gives you access to like a new recipe or allows you to write a new page.
You come up with a new recipe.
Yeah, and that turns into your fighting food on character. And then like, can I pitch you on something that I think would just be so fucking funny?
Yeah.
Can we do this thing where it's a gritty, all of like Evil Within 1. Evil Within 2 is actually a better example because you're like going around this small town and it's just like there's monsters everywhere. It's really poorly lit. I love that energy and it's just gritty and scary. But anytime you discover a new recipe, it just smash cuts to like a really not in it doesn't share the same tone mini game where you're doing like an easy bake oven sort of thing where you're making your fighting food on character.
Yeah,
where
the
it's
whole
just,
game changes flavor and
fun.
palette to like a gamified version of a cooking show.
Yeah, I think that would just be so fucking weird and stupid. All right, I want to put a pin in this because Alan Wake and Bake, or should we call it Alan Shake and Bake?
Alan Shake and Bake is very good. It also, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of Alan Wake and Bake because then we have two false positives because people will see that and they'll think, cool, I get to play as Alan Wake again. And it's like, no, you don't. And like, it's a weed game? And it's like, no, it's super not that either. Welcome to the show, idiot.
All right, you give me a game.
This comes from Gazer, at Just Gazer. Howard the Duck, a gritty Telltale game.
Wait, just to confirm, Howard the Duck is the Marvel character that is a duck, right? And just exists in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe?
He also had a movie in the 90s where he was just a duck in the real world, and I think he got a girlfriend. I haven't seen it.
That's right! I remember, because there's like a scene where he gets like a feather boner, and it's just really uncomfortable and weird.
That's why my parents didn't let me see it. No, I don't remember it. I've never seen Howard the Duck.
That's so weird. And it's just, okay, so when birds get excited, like the top of their head, like my mom's cockatoo does this. When they get really excited, either like, either
hyped or horny.
Yeah, I was trying to say it more eloquently than that, but like, yeah, that's
sometimes
exactly
what
you
don't have to be eloquent about it. Sometimes you can just say the bird gets real nasty.
Their top feathers on their head just fly up, and they just get really floofy, and that happened to Howard the Duck. So,
they
you
do
saying
that when they get horny too? I thought they just did it when they were like, let's fucking go, let's party, bud. Yeah,
dude, they do that. Like, birds are fucking like really like. There's Bentley. He knows I'm talking about him. Yeah, no, birds do that. Birds are weird, man. Especially cockatoos, because they're really expressive. So are you pitching me on a, like, fucking Leisure Suit Larry Donald Duck, like, adventure where it's just a duck being horribly uncomfortable and problematic and raunchy, and it's just like a puzzle game?
Something gritty a la Dark and menacing, but I love the idea of taking Howard the Duck and making him a real total sex pervert.
Side note,
because we haven't seen like a double or triple A sex pervert game in a while. The closest we've gotten is Honey Pop.
Awful because they suck. Games like that suck. Like, I fucking hate Leisure Suit Larry, by the way, just to clarify. I'm a huge fan of Sierra games. I fucking hate Leisure Suit Larry.
That game has a lot of bad taste in it. But what if we made...
Can I pitch you on this?
Yeah.
Is there a way to do a pervy sex game without it being problematic? Is that something that is possible? Because there are characters that are horny, but they don't have to be like pieces of shit. You know what I mean?
I'm sure there is. Man, yeah, how come so many horny things are so problematic? Weird.
Because a lot of them were made in like early, like 25 years ago, where you were allowed to be a piece of shit, especially when there was that perceived notion that the guys only play video games. It had like that fucking shit energy. You know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily an inclusive space.
This isn't an alleyway I want to go down.
Yeah.
So instead, let's talk about Howard the Duck becoming a horrible murder psychopath in space.
Okay, so
it feels a little bit done before, huh? If you just take Howard the Duck and make him Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a talking animal with a gun. It's Rocket Raccoon. He says a snarky joke every now and again.
Austin Powers is horny and not problematic. Can we just turn Howard the Duck into Austin Powers?
Actually, you're onto something here. So, what if we did an intergalactic, galaxy-spanning James Bond character, but they are more like Pink Panther than they are actual James Bond? Because I feel like Howard the Duck...
Pink Panther, the animated cartoon guy?
Well, there was also the live action thing. The idea is, I don't know how much you know about Pink Panther, but for
with
those
the
that don't know,
cheeseburger bit, I remember the Pink Panther movie now.
So for those that don't know, Pink Panther is like a spoof on James Bond. It's like, okay, what if you had, I think his name is Inspector Clouseau. It is a detective that is wholly inept at their job and doesn't know how to actually be a good spy. Another type of this is Smart with Steve. Johnny English, Get Smart with Steve Carell, like that. Just they are the inept James Bond. So what if we did an inept Howard the Duck going on a galaxy?
Austin Powers? I don't know if Austin Powers is a good spy or not.
Well, honestly, that's the funny thing about Austin Powers. He's actually a good spy. He's just a fucking goof horn dog. But is actually like respectful of women. Austin Powers, it feels like a movie that shouldn't work, but it does. You know what I mean? That's how it always felt about it.
I've never seen Austin Powers.
Really? I don't know how it holds up, but it's one of his better movies. Like it's definitely not Master of Disguise. That movie sucked. I don't know if you saw that one.
Master of Disguise is not a great movie. I've seen that one
before. It's horrible.
There is a really funny bit where he climbs out of a cherry pie. That's pretty fun and cool.
Wait, what? I don't even remember that.
There's like a pie, and then he just sort of bursts out of it. Like a dude bursting out of a cake, except it's just the pie.
Okay. I mean, it's strange. Okay, so let's go back to our Telltale game. So we start
Howard the Duck is Austin Powers. He is horny and good with guns. And he says, "Yeah, baby," now. I think he said that before. I don't know. I've never seen Howard the Duck or Austin Powers.
I honestly...
I'll be honest, they occupy the same part in my brain of like things that are a little bit horny that I haven't seen before. Things that I thought I wanted to see as a kid, but my parents wouldn't let me see because they were horny.
Do you have like a dedicated compartment for that? Like in the file cabinet that is your brain, it's like horny, watch eventually.
It's Austin Powers, Howard the Duck. And for a while, Family Guy, but then I saw a clip of Family Guy and had nightmares afterwards.
Yeah, and it also sucks. I'm feeling pretty ornery this episode. Like normally I'm like, people's tastes, they're their own. Like, have fun with what you like.
I'm gonna be like things.
I'm just gonna attack things today.
Do we want another video game? Do we think we can squeeze a third one in really quick?
Yeah, let me give you another game. So you mentioned a gritty game. I want to stay in that theming. So this one comes to us from Alley Cat and Millennium Hoo Ha, a gritty survival action game that's constantly being narrated by a storybook narrator. So this is really fucking cool to me because I love the idea of like some video games have played around with it where they have like storybook sort of like cutscenes. But what if you had to go through a pop-up book and page by page, you would actually have interactables on each page. But it's like the shit you're watching is like fucking grisly. So like a good example, actually no, that's a spoiler. I don't want to spoil Inscription at all because it's still new and it's still a great game.
Okay.
But
So, but the whole thing's structured like a pop-up book.
It's a pop-up book that you have to. It's a pop-up book, but maybe each page has interactables on it that need to be combined that allow you to turn the next page. So it's like
it sounds like what you just want is like a point-and-click adventure that's stylized like a pop-up book.
Yes, and like anytime you click on something or interact with something, you have like a narrator describing what you just did. Because that's like, if you look at like early Sierra games, actually maybe not the necessarily like the text-based ones, but like Space Quest or Kingdom Quest or King Quest or whatever the hell it was called, like the around 4 or 5, they actually had narrators. And I think I want to take that same energy, but I want to generate this contrast of you have this horribly fucking grisly sort of like grim, like, you know, like the original Grimm fairy tales where it's like Pinocchio was like way fucking scarier than what it was described, or Hansel and Gretel was way scarier than most.
Yeah, Hansel and Gretel got eaten. The Little Mermaid died, and I think she turned into sea foam. I don't know what happened to Pinocchio. Maybe he just got put in a wood chipper. That'd be kind of funny.
I think
not
like,
for him.
I think that ends with him and his dad being eaten by the whale and dying. Like he never achieves what he was looking for. I think that's how it ends.
How do you end up in the whale zone anyway? It's been a long time since I saw Pinocchio. Hi, Blake. I do have one problem with what you're pitching.
Yes, what's up?
What you're pitching is just a point-and-click adventure with a narrator, and I don't think that that's particularly big or explosive. Here's my question. How familiar are you with the video game Biomutant that came out this year?
No, I know nothing about it.
Biomutant is an action-adventure RPG game that came out this year that had... It had a lot of build-up because a lot of people were like, oh, this indie game's going to be great. And then it came out, and everybody was like, this game's incredibly okay. But one thing that was really strange about this game is that it had a narrator. So your characters would walk around and they spoke their silly little mutant language that sounded like, think Banjo-Kazooie, think Animal Crossing gibberish, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd walk up to a character and they'd be speaking gibberish. But the entire game had a narrator that was like some Planet Earth type shit. So you'd walk up to a character and they'd be like... And then a narrator would come over and be like, Sally would like you to go to the deep woods and gather up 15 eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that with a horror game? Think Resident Evil, but every time you walk up and talk to the president's daughter, she speaks gibberish and you have a narrator come on over her.
You know, I think the only way that would work is if you lean into it like Thomas Was Alone. I know you haven't played it, and I highly suggest you do, but the thing that I love so much about that game is that it does play on what you're saying, where it's one narrator giving voices to everybody.
Yeah, and that's what this Mutant game does as well.
Yeah, and so I feel like, but the narrator needs to be bad at giving people voices. I think that's where the comedy of it comes. It feels like a parent telling a bad story.
Isn't this also what that new game from Yoko Taro just did?
I have no idea.
Yoko Taro just released a game called like something of the cards. The gimmick was that everything in the game was built out to look like you were just playing the game off of cards. When you went into a city, you would just enter a city card. When you talked to shopkeepers, they would have shop cards.
Oh, that's
cool. But it
as
had like
hell.
a single narrator over the whole game. Okay. I don't know if any of the characters were actually voiced.
So how do we play with that? Like, because the submission said gritty with a storybook thing, or with like a storybook narrator, and I'll be real, that doesn't give me storybook vibes. It just says, it's just like, hey, here's this open world scary game that has a funny narrator narrating everything. I mean, it could. One way that we can make that work is, and just throwing a curveball out there, what if every sound, every movement, every description has to come from this narrator? So there's no gun sounds, there's no hacking sounds, there's no running sounds. It's all done by this narrator's voice. So it's like you attack something, you just have this guy You just have this clearly like day player voice actor coming in and doing kablow, kablow, just something like to where you can't take this game seriously in the slightest.
So I think you can't take it seriously if you have sound on. The second you mute it, it really does look legit. It's some Resident Evil Within. It's haunting to look at. But man, the sounds really ruin it.
Remember when that cinematic for Last of Us 2 came out where Ellie or one of those women is being tortured by the other woman, and like everybody talked about how grisly that scene was? Now picture that, but if it was somebody making mouth sounds to all of the little actions going on. You just couldn't take it seriously. It would just be too fucking weird. So I guess that's the game. So we're coming up on our 43 minutes. You and I decide a game. I feel most excited about Alan Wake Shake and Bake.
I also like Alan Wake and Shake and Bacon.
Are we calling it Alan Wake and Bake or Alan Wake Shake and Bake?
I think Alan Wake Shake and Bake.
It's just so stupid. Alan Wake Shake and Bake.
I love it. Because you know what I haven't seen done yet is this game is going to get a lot of strange comparisons. The one I'm most excited for is the idea of people being like, check it out. It's kind of like a Kingdom Hearts, but it's horror and you get collectible monsters instead of Donald and Goofy.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, okay. There is this, we need to talk. I think most of our gameplay is figured out. I think I want to jump into modifiers, and I actually remembered one modifier I really want to use because it leans into this really fucking well. So
hit me. If you're a member of our Discord and our Patreon, you can come into our Discord, and on our Discord we have modifiers that you can submit every week in case you are wondering about this.
Yes, and we also play board games and other various hangout stuff, so come join on. This one comes to us from Turtle Lover 2244, a collectible card game deck. Now, picture this, AJ. So I play a lot of Warhammer, and one of the things that you can do with your army is you have a deck of cards with you that outlines all of your abilities like flashcards. Mm-hmm. What if we introduced this ability later in the game where
Wait, what is the current modifier again? It's sidekicks, yeah?
Yes, it's sidekicks. So this is a sentient collectible card game deck, and I'm wondering if like you can use each one of these cards once, and each one of them has their own little personality, but you have a limited amount of them, and once you use them, they're gone forever. So like,
what would these cards be used for?
I think it's just like one-use abilities. So it'll be like insta-kill. It'll be light the way. It could be like, I'm wondering if it's one of two things. One, it's just a deck you get at the onset of the game, and you just have all of these resources that you can use once, and maybe that's where some of like the puzzle elements of this game comes in. So it's like, hey, you find yourself like at this wall of darkness. Well, it turns out you have a card that just says Orb of Light on it.
Oh, and you just have to shuffle through your entire inventory.
Yeah, and picture how fucking daunting and uncomfortable that is, because there's how many cards are in like a standard deck? It's like 32 or 52. 52. Imagine you just get 52 items at the start of the game, and you're like, I have no idea what any of this goes to. I'm playing Bloodborne right now, and I get overwhelmed if I find like a pendant, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is a Dark Souls game. This one thing can be like this one pendant I just got could be like the make it or break it towards my ending. It's like, oh, I gotta save this, or it's like the music box when you're going up against Father G. It's
I love
you have no idea what that's for.
That you already have all of the useless shit, but you will find a use for it later.
Yeah, but you have no idea, and how overwhelming that has to be. And I'm wondering if it's like, okay, maybe we don't give sentience to, because this is a sidekick. So this is somebody that's you're going to carry on your hip, like like the head from God of War. It's just something that's going to talk to you when you're just going about the world. So instead of each card having its own sentience, what if it's the card box that has sentience, and every time you take a card from it, you're literally killing it? So it's like it loses life as you use it, or it loses like it's losing a piece of its soul. And the big reveal at
the end of the game is that was actually Alan Wake the whole time, and you're fighting Alan Wake's insert You're fighting Alan Wake's self-insert that he created.
Okay,
Whoa.
hold on. Can I actually wait a second? Hold on. You're onto something here because, okay, I'm going to give you another Alan Wake DLC spoiler here. So
No, don't give it to me. Wait, the Weird American Bloodland one?
Yes, Alan Wake American Nightmare.
I think you're allowed to spoil that one. Nobody played it.
Okay, fuck you. That game was awesome. Fuck you. That game rocked. Okay, so Alan Wake American Nightmare, the thing that it was playing on, and I think we can apply this into our game in a really interesting way, is as Alan Wake is in this alternate universe thing, a copy of him is made called Scratch. And it is literally evil Alan Wake. And his name is... I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, because you were mentioning evil Alan Wake.
Time out. So, I need to know, one, does he look like a garbled up version of Alan Wake, or is it just like, I need a cool moniker?
Dude, it's actually really... No, it's actually really fucking cool. So Alan Wake calls him Scratch because anytime Scratch says his name, it distorts and becomes radio static, and it sounds like a scratching record.
Oh, that is actually kind of fun. Yeah,
it's
I like
really fucking cool. So, but what this introduces is every enemy in our game that has a different book is just a different part of Alan Wake. So it's like you go up against the news writer Alan Wake, who has his own personality.
I don't want to make it a different part of Alan Wake. I want it to be a different insert of Alan Wake. I'm proposing that Alan Wake much. You know how in all the Marvel movies we have all these Stan Lees that keep showing up?
Yes.
What if Alan Wake did that for himself, and Alan Wake in all of his books was like, and then look at that, it's tiny Alan Wake.
Dude, that's
and then
so
you're
funny.
Playing as one of his 8 self-inserts.
Yes, no, dude, like that's a huge thing for Stephen King too. Like a lot of his main characters are self-inserts. They're all like troubled writers or alcoholics, with a drug problem, like all stuff that Stephen King himself
so
dealt
you
with.
play as Abraham Wellington. They all have the same initials of AW.
Wait, hold on. What this tells me then is, like, you know what the grand reveal of this fucking game is that our character is a copy of Alan Wake trying to kill the original Alan Wake, or maybe is killed by the original Alan Wake. So it's like that another spoiler. Remember the movie The Island, where they find out like everybody who lives on the island is like a copy of somebody existing in the real world and that shit? Great movie. I shouldn't have spoiled it, but whatever. It's like a movie from 30 years ago. That's the reveal of our game. So it's like Alan Wake, the Cook version, has to figure out like, okay, am I gonna go on as a copy of a copy, or am I gonna like kill the original Alan Wake and take on the role of Alan Wake?
The characters that we are playing as, are they all copies? Are they self-inserts of Alan Wake, or are they self-inserts from Scratch?
They are like Scratch, as in they are self-inserts of Alan Wake.
Okay.
But our character
in a way, they're
evil.
all Alan Wake. I love this.
So every fucking talking person in this game, or every enemy is Alan Wake.
Except for the deck of cards that is your best friend, that is actual Alan Wake, that has been turned into a deck of cards.
Oh my god!
Reasons that will make sense in the final 3 minutes of the game.
Here's
what I'm also going to say, though. I think that we do some next level shit. We go on some BioShock 2 level ways of writing, so we can get all these scrumptious fucking awards. We're gonna have all of this cool story in the first 20 minutes and the last 5 minutes, and the rest of the game is just fucking, how are we gonna get over there? And all the awards shows are gonna love us, and they're gonna talk about how good our story is the whole way through.
Okay, dude, you're so fucking onto it though with having Alan Wake be the little deck of cards, because you know what it is? It's a sealed box that can talk to you, and then it'll print out like things when you need it, and then like we just smash cut inside of it. It's just Alan Wake in his fucking like cabin room, like stuck in a room. He's typing out the things that you need. So because he's manifesting the shit that you need, like the 30 or 52 items that you'll need at various points in the game. So it's like, oh my, he's stuck in this fucking box. He's stuck in his That's literally what we call it. It's
Yes.
just the box that says Mind Palace on it.
I love this.
And it's just so
I love
small.
this so much. Blake,
Oh, this is
I'm putting
so
a bow on
stupid.
this. I need to end the
Okay.
show now. We've run over my time limit. I need to catch the bus.
Okay, Alan Wake, Shake and Bake. Let's go to patch notes.
Let's go to patch notes.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Patch Notes. We just wanted to say, if you want to, hey, everybody, and welcome to Patch Notes. Check us out on Twitter at SpiritualSuck, where we post all of our little announcements. We're going to be posting up some unique art for this game of Alan Wake Shake and Bake. I'm just trying to come up with things to say because AJ is literally walking out the door on me, and I feel panicked.
I'm back by the chair. I can do our official sign off. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for listening. I've been one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I have been your other host, Blake Rea.
Our intro and outro music is Cheap Shot by Anamanaguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band from an excellent game. This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games.
That should not be made.